We're now in the Inmarsat Operations Center with Pierre Tango, one of the Network Operations Center managers. And Pierre is going to give us a brief tour here of what you do, how you do it for your entire global network. Pierre, first of all, we've got a map in the background. This is obviously a coverage map, and unlike low Earth orbit satellites, these are geostationary orbit satellites, which means that they have beams.
Okay. Yes, what you see on the map here is just a snapshot on our global coverage of different services that we provide from our latest fourth generation satellite. This is the map showing the traffic on the three ocean regions. That means the AMER over America, the EMEA over Europe and Africa, and,
and the Middle East, right,
and here the Pacific. So basically what you see a map showing a spot beam. That's where we have our traffic, the spot beam, and where you have the beam that are littered are where actually we are carrying traffic right now.
And as I was noting on this map here, this actually shows each beam from each satellite and how you've engineered them to overlap, so there's no essential drop in coverage.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, except on the polar regions.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay. And how much traffic a day do you know? I mean, how many calls? How do you measure your traffic?
We have an internal homemade what we call Inmarsat network monitoring system that has been developing in-house just to show us instantly the traffic from all beams,
right,
and the trends, and we can, at all time have a very clear idea of how many customers are on our network, how many type of calls are ops, and that also gives us a very accurate way of finding if there's any problem into the network,
right,
so that we can intervene if anything's happened.
And is there any beam where you have the highest concentration of calls? Probably Europe, the EMEA beam?
Yeah, there are some beams, because basically Inmarsat, you have to understand that there are some beams where, if we have things like problem happening in a specific area in the world, the traffic might increase in that beam.
Right.
So this instantly gives us exactly where we have more traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And here at the Network Operations Center, we take specially care on the area where we have this type of traffic surge.
Right, like I'm assuming you're doing stuff in Iraq, Afghanistan,
exactly.
Egypt.
Yes, like, the color coding on our maps here showing that we have a lot of traffic in the Iraq area here,
right,
and that gives us, because that's what we call sensitive beam. We have a special care by, making sure that we are monitoring those beams closely.
And in another room, you actually monitor your spacecraft,
exactly,
to make sure. And I'm assuming you can adjust your beams, or do you do that if you need to?
Yes, the spacecraft, because this is a digital satellite, and everything can be changed on the satellite if needed. Yes, to make more availability of anything that turn traffic. If maybe in one speed we need more capacity in a specific beams or specific.
So you can do that.
Yes.
So it's all dynamic and agile.
Yes.
And what's really cool about your network is before your handset will work, when it initiates, it has to find itself in the world with GPS and transmit that information to you and select the correct beam.
Yes, that's exactly, because it's a completely automated network. The only thing that the customer needs to know is just to know the position of the satellite, and then from there, if they have, they can aim the antenna of the UT, user terminal, to the satellite, based on the latitude and longitude.
But the customer doesn't need to know that. The handset needs to know it.
Exactly.
The customer with your network, it's really easy. They don't need to know anything except how to turn it on and let it boot up.
Exactly.
And so it will display all the satellites that it finds. It'll select the correct beam, and we're off and ready to make a phone call.
That's correct. It's
Right.
a quite easy process of
Yeah, it
getting
is.
into our network.
It's a very smart network.
Yes, exactly.
And so, okay, so give me a tour very briefly of what you all do here.
Basically, what we can see here, we have all our monitors here that are remotely connect to all our remote stations around the world.
Right.
Because you have to understand that we have a large network that covers the entire. Our network covers the entire world, and basically because this is the control center, from here we connect to all our monitoring station, all our station. The satellite access station. We have one per ocean region. We have one in Fucino, one in Burum. They are all redundant. That take care of the traffic between the satellite through the SAS to the end customer. You have one in Hawaii.
In Hawaii, right.
Yes, and then we have one. One in Hawaii and the other one in Borum and Fucino.
Baroom.
Yes, Borum is in Netherlands.
Aha. So is that a duplicate of this network operations center, or is this the only one?
This is the only network operation center we have. We have another backup operation center just in case something happen, because
Right,
we
of
have
course.
every,
Right.
We can move.
You do ships, you do
Exactly,
everybody, right?
yes.
So, okay. But your satellites are all talking to this center. Is that correct?
What I can say is that from here, we have the control of our satellite access station.
Right.
So from here, we can turn on and off any equipment because we don't have visibility of the satellite.
Right, of course.
All the satellite from here, but because this is the only control center that we have with a backup one. If we need to move it in emergency, from here we can control everything remotely.
Okay, but do your satellites talk to ground stations in all these areas, and then do you link by terrestrial links?
Exactly, terrestrial.
Digital terrestrial links back to this center.
Exactly.
I see. So it's like the old days.
So
It's like the old days with the space program.
A very large and complex data network that connect all our stations all around the world and bring the data from here.
I see. Okay. So what happens if you lose some of those landline links?
Basically, we have a lot of redundancies. We have a huge redundancy, and the availability is extremely high from all aspects. Because if one link goes down, we have route from another way that will automatically switch the traffic from that link to.
And your handset is running on L band. We couldn't remember the frequency.
The L band is between 1.5 and 1.6.
That's what I thought. So it's the same as where GPS is. It's actually the same as where Iridium is. 1640 megahertz.
Yeah.
So it's all the same. It's all the same band. That's what I thought. So what else do you do in this center?
Really, it's just I can say we monitor our entire network, the payload of our satellite, and the amount of traffic and the quality of the service. All the traffic are monitored from here, and also we configure our network from here.
Right, and this is 24/7, obviously.
Yes, 24/7.
And so if we could just do a walk, we'll give everybody an idea here.
Okay, this from here, we have all our monitoring from here. Basically what you can see here, that represent these are our older services, what we call existing and evolve for M&B, and this is at the network coordination station, from where we can control them from here at NOC. So we can perform side switches. We can, if a component is not working well on one of the computer, we can switch it from here.
Right.
We can monitor the traffic from several land stations here in the POR. Here, we have all the ocean region here. And
Right.
also we have the traffic trend for all different services that we have here. So
Okay, so up here, this is what I was wondering. What are these graphs?
these graphs showing the traffic trend from our various services. And
It's for data and voice.
data, voice,
Wideband, I'm assuming narrowband.
yeah, you have everything here. From here you have, you know, the number of call connected for different
Right.
region and things like that. Yeah.
And how many people do you usually have on duty here?
2 at the time.
Just 2?
Yes.
Yeah.
24.
Okay, and then this bank of displays that are in front of us, this final bank over here,
Yeah, I mean they are all
this is all the same.
the same type of remote monitoring and control, you know, of the equipment that we have in the remote side.
Right.
And also the monitoring on some of the key element of our network. Like here we have the spectrum analyzer where we can monitor carriers, you know, to see carriers and
Right.
you know, to make sure, you know, like we can monitor all the visible satellite from here can be monitored, and you can see the spectrum.
Right. So this is each satellite?
These we can see several satellites from here.
I see.
The third generation satellite and the fourth generation satellite visible
Right.
from Europe.
So you have 4 generations in 30 years.
Exactly.
What's your biggest nightmare? What's your biggest nightmare? Biggest problem that you guys really have to pay attention to?
I think one of the key success for Inmarsat over the years has already been to high availability of our network. So that means anytime there is a problem, you know, in our network, we strive to make sure that the customer is not affected. That's why our
Right.
network is really resilient in terms of redundancy and things like that. So anytime there's something that happen in the network that can impact the customer, that is our nightmare.
But you don't have any redundancy between beams, do you? A satellite, it has a specific beam width area.
Yeah.
Is there just one satellite to do that, or is there multiple satellites?
I mean, we have one satellite covering a specific area
Right.
for a specific service, but in terms of emergency, or I mean, if you have a sort of something happen that we need maybe to move on,
You can move it.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you really had a problem, you could reposition
Exactly.
another satellite.
Yeah, exactly.
And do you have any spares?
Yes, we have spares.
You do, so you can move them into
Yeah, yes.
position.
And then the way that our network is configured is that, you know, we have satellite ready to take over if one of satellite has
Right.
some problems, you know.
Okay. So, and your mean time between failure, is it 99.9, 99.8, do you know?
We have contingency procedure in place, and you know, that's we do drills all the time to
Right.
make sure that our contingency works. And basically, we try to recover our service as fast.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Yes, to keep.
And can you hand off this center to Hawaii? If this center goes down, where do you hand this off to?
In terms of, you have what we call a backup
Right.
station, a backup control center, where we can move very, very quickly, just
Right.
if anything happened, catastrophic have here.
Right.
But like you said, our remote, our SAS station also can handle some of the monitoring in an emergency, you know,
Right.
because we try to duplicate and give them some of the hands to be able to have visibility on the network.
Right. Pierre, I want to thank you very much. This is a cool center.
Okay, thank
This
you
is
very much.
Thanks very much for your time today.
Okay, thanks. You're welcome. Thank you.